the male loneliness epidemic, which is, I'll be quite honest, mostly a self-inflicted wound by a lot of men. I'll fucking say it. I don't really give a shit. A lot of this is fucking self-inflicted wounds here by men specifically. Like, fellas, it's if you want to get fucking pussy nowadays, don't be a fucking Republican. Don't be a Trump supporter. You want like pussy repellent? Be a Republican. be conservative. Because again, it should be fairly obvious why. The Republican Party has been consistently a party that would advocate for the revocation of women's rights, specifically in 2022. Trump appointed three conservative Supreme Court justices who had a hand in playing of the revocation of Roe v. Wade, a revocation of abortion rights for women within Republican fucking states who immediately passed draconian anti-abortion laws. So, should be fairly obvious that a lot of women who are more and more going to college and graduating and getting college degrees are, oh, not liking fucking Trump supporters who, generally speaking, are not as fucking educated. Obviously, this is a general sort of thing with a lot of the lumpen fucking proletariat. Yeah, we've used this Marxist sort of term and concept before, but it's essentially the lumpen proletariat are the part of the proletariat who will consistently advocate for things that are against their fucking class interests. Advocate, like being a fucking Trump supporter, and if you are poor, you are actively voting and going against your own fucking class interests. And there's complicated reasons for that, lack of class consciousness being the main one, but also because of a lot of lack of education. Let's be quite honest here, a lot of Trump supporters barely fucking finished high school and don't go to fucking college thinking that a lot of them probably do unironically think that college is just like a communist hellhole meant to fucking indoctrinate you into fucking trans ideology, which is okay, bro. Yeah, totally. That's really how that fucking works. But it's also just because they have a lot of fucking backwards fucking cultural beliefs. I'll take my opportunity to keep shitting on fucking rural dipshits. Honestly, like yeah, absolutely. Those are people that do not represent the core of America. The people who represent the core of America are people from New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, all of the big fucking cities within the United States of America. Those are the actual representations within America. The rural backwater shitholes that exist have been left a long time ago. And that's just how it is. That's just the evolution of the economy. It's all about the inner fucking cities now. They have always been the financial and cultural, economic centers of production within the United States of America. And that's always been the fucking case. Like, let's be honest here. And a lot of the women that are going to be there are going to be college fucking educated liberals who fucking hate Trump and his supporters because they had a direct hand in playing or to play in the revocation of a lot of their rights. Obviously, it's going to be the vast majority, but not all of them. But we're talking about the male loneliness epidemic. This is a big contributor for as to why. And Roe v. Wade basically made that significantly worse. The thing that helped catalyze it and made it much of a like it was the starting of a snowball because there was also polling on this before in for a lot of young women. If they hear that you are a Joe Rogan watcher or like a Manosphere podcast watcher or an Andrew Tate supporter, instant fucking turn off. Guys, it turns out that women don't like men who want to take away their rights. Whoa, that's crazy. And a lot of these like stupid dumb fucking conservatives will talk about this. This is why the 19th Amendment needs to be repealed. The consequences of the fucking sexual fucking revolution, and that's what's causing all these lascivious fucking women to want to advocate for their own rights. It's just like, dog, it's the arc of progress. It always moves forward. Women's rights were always going to happen, whether you stupid motherfuckers are going to like it or not. And a bunch of men back in those days when the suffragette movement got the 19th Amendment to allow them to vote, lots of men were also in support of that, saying like, yeah, maybe like, women should be able to vote. Fuck it, why not? Who cares? There was a lot of protests. There was a lot of blood that had to be shed, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears. But it eventually ended up being successful. Same with the sexual revolution that led to the 1974 bill that essentially ended the sort of abuse, a lot of the fucking domestic abuse and violence that happened as a result of your sort of 1950s golden age of America. Because I've talked about this before. Lots of domestic violence cases and problems with abuse generally happened during those fucking times. Lots and lots of cases. And those would go heavily underreported or not reported whatsoever because a lot of the police would just not follow up on any of those fucking cases because heavily fucking misogynistic time. And the sexual revolution happened as a result of that. And that's how you got no-fault divorce. That's how you got women being able to open up their own bank accounts. That's how you got women being able to have more agency within society. They had a lot more fucking rights given to them. And it's the inevitable fucking arc of progress that's constantly coming to, well, every fucking goddamn country. But the reason why we're talking about this is because there was a recent Scott Galloway sort of address on CNN where he's talking about this. There's also like another interview. We're just going to only watch one of the interviews. He's talking about male loneliness now, and because he has like a new book or some shit. Now, Scott Galloway, for those who may not know, creator of Dilbert, and he likes to fashion himself as a little bit of like a savant in terms of philosophy. But if you look at like, I don't know, any of the things that he says, you just like look at him, you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, does your brain like function properly? What I'm saying here is that he's a fucking dumbass. Like, complete conservative dipshit who barely knows what he's fucking talking about. But since he wrote a successful comic strip talking about, like, I don't know, like, American office culture, which is broadly speaking what Dilbert is, a commentary on American office culture, and it was very, very highly successful, and he made a lot of money from it. That means he can have like an authority to be able to tell people what he believes and have people be inherent adherence to that. And it's just like, no, dude, that's not how that fucking works. Don't do this like Curtis Yarvinist, like monarchistic fucking bullshit. Don't be like a fucking Platonist, you weirdo. But what do we have here?
There is a crisis facing boys and young men in this country. And my next guest, author and podcaster Scott Galloway, says it affects everything from their ability to form friendships, go out on dates, find jobs, find purpose in their lives. Scott's the host of the Prop G Pod and co-host of the Pivot and Raging Moderates podcast. He's a best-selling author, and his latest book is Notes on Being a Man. And Scott joins me now. I want to read to you writing this book.
So okay, Anderson Cooper, let me help you out here, bud. So, going out on dates, going out on, forming social ties and friendships and whatnot. Allow me to introduce to you my favorite graph. Why, hello, wage productivity gap graph. I love this graph. This is my favorite graph because it's pretty much a perfect encapsulation for the current economic times that we are in. This isn't just a problem with men, by the way. This is also a big problem with women. Less so because they've been going more and more to university, able to get more successful jobs, blah, 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 blah. Less of a problem for them, but it's still an issue for them as well. Guys, it turns out to be able to go out to eat and have fun with people, you need money in order to do that. To be able to pay your bills, your car, your insurance, your gas, your utilities. Turns out you need money to be able to do that. And having to work, and I mean constantly work, 2 to 3 jobs at a time in order to just be able to get by barely with rent, your food, your utilities, your insurance, your rent, not to mention whatever other bills you have to pile up, like your phone. You need a phone in order to be able to communicate in this day and age right now. And because of suburbanized fucking infrastructure that exists within the United States of America, gotta have a car to be able to get anywhere. No third places in that decrepit shithole known as the fucking United States of America. You can't use public transportation to get anywhere. Hardly, unless you're in one of the bigger fucking goddamn cities. Otherwise, good luck with that shit if you're living in, I don't know, rural Oklahoma or some shit, like you gotta have a car. Or if you live in a fucking suburbia, you need a car to be able to get anywhere. So it's just like, no wonder there's a more epidemic of fucking loneliness amongst men, because the conditions on the ground have made it such that it's harder for people to socialize with one another in general. And this gets back to my magnum opus argument. The reason why this is the case, and this has been outlined by our boy Mark Fisher in Capitalist fucking Realism. Capitalists in the sort of hyper commodified late stage capitalist society that we find ourselves under will do anything, and I mean anything possible, to monetize and commodify every single aspect of human existence on the planet. Your health care, the food that you eat, the water that you need to drink, housing, every thing that is needed to survive, heavily fucking monetized within the United States of America for the benefit of corporations and the rich. This also extends to social interactions. AI companions is an example of this. Essentially, a way for people to be able to just waste time with their AI fucking companions in order to just like sit there, be a vegetable, and just like waste your fucking time. And unironically, the people who make these fucking demon machines, these things that should not exist, should be these abominable intelligences that need to be wiped off of the fucking face of the planet, have admitted to saying that this is the purpose of this is to just waste people's time. So then they don't go out, don't socialize with one another, and be paid pigs to, I don't know, fucking LARPy Misa Misa that from Elon Musk or some shit, so he can make more fucking money. That's the whole point of all of this, and it has an adverse effect on the socialization and the social ability of people, generally speaking, within the United States of America. And this all started from suburbanization, car culture, and the destruction of fucking unions. Destruction of unions led to, obviously, this sort of paradigm where wages have been stagnant since Reagan, basically, like hardly keeping up with inflation and hardly keeping up with net productivity. Americans have been getting way, way more fucking productive, generally speaking, and guess what? Wages have not fucking kept up with that productivity for decades, and people are not able to pay their fucking bills as a result, and it's getting worse. But, you know, the capitalist has to be able to monetize every single aspect of your fucking life. And if that means they can further monetize the ability for people to be able to organize with one another and have social bonds with one another and go after the basis of what labor organization is, the ability to socialize with one another, they'll do that in order to make sure that they can maintain their position in the hierarchy for as long as possible. And that, of course, being right at the fucking tippy top. It's all intended from these motherfuckers.
Algorithmically generated content on social media contributes to and profits from young men's growing social isolation, boredom, and ignorance. With the deepest pocketed firms on the planet trying to convince young men that they can have a reasonable facsimile of life on a screen, many grow up without acquiring the skills to build social capital or create wealth. The statistics are insane. Like 45% of men 18 to 25 have never approached a woman in person.
Never asked a woman out in person. And what they're up against, think about it, you could largely describe America right now as a giant bet on AI. 10 companies have driven all the growth in GDP, are responsible for 77% of the earnings growth. Our economy literally rests on 10 companies now, often referred to as the Magnificent 10. And they do several things, but quite frankly, they're in the business of enragement, polarization, and then sequestering young people from all other activities.
And that's only getting worse given...
Is this Scott Galloway, the dude who made fucking Dilbert? I might be confusing my fucking bald white guys. Might be a different fucking bald white guy who wrote Dilbert. Yeah, I think I might be another bald white guy or some shit. Yeah, like, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Like, he's just correct here. Yeah, the monetization of social interactions that is going on right now is the main reason that this current paradigm exists, where people don't fucking approach women. Okay, personal fucking anecdote time. I have never approached a woman. Scott Adams. I was confusing my Scots. Thank you, Boy Meets Minnie. Yeah, Scott Adams made Dilbert, not Scott Galloway. I was confusing my Scots. That's my mistake. Yeah, Scott Adams likes to sort of like pose himself as a fucking philosopher king, and he's like a stupid fucking moron, like complete fucking psychopath. Yeah, I was confusing my Scots. I'm really bad with names. I always forget that. But yeah, that dude's a fucking psychopath. This is just one of those things where it's like, duh. And personal anecdote time. I have, in all of my 29 years of life, I have never asked a woman out on a date. Never. I have never done it. First off, I'm way too fucking nervous for that shit. I'm way too socially stunted and autistic for that shit, okay? I like playing my video games. I like playing my factory automation games and Factorio and just being a fucking autist. Also, I basically made the unironically, I made the Volcel pledge in high school saying like, well, before I can kind of go and like try to help work with, well, help another because I still had the like sort of traditional masculinity mindset. It's like, well, if I want to be able to help another person be successful in life, like I need to be successful in my own life first, be able to be on my own 2 feet before I can have someone else in my life and be able to help them. At least that's how I thought of it back in high school. Obviously, I matured. I grew up. That's not the case. I don't believe that anymore. Obviously, it's a mutual effort nowadays, especially with how the fucking current economy is. It's a mutual effort with how it is now, because people don't have any money to be able to do anything. So, and I made these realizations that I'm probably just like completely and utterly fucked. Considering all the shit that happened. I graduated university during COVID, so I'm just like, great, there's a big wrench in the fucking goddamn work. And also, because of the shitting of the Canadian economy, I got caught in a fucking firing wave where I lost my fucking job. And it's just like, well, nothing I could do about that. I got caught in a firing wave, and to this day, it's been about 13 months, still haven't found a job. The economy is really fucking destroying my shit right now. And as a result, have I ever thought about asking a woman out? No. Fuck no. I need to be able to, I don't know, take care of my own shit before I can even think about, I don't know, including someone else in my fucking life. So it's just like, that's just kind of just how I thought of it. And still way too fucking nervous and autistic for any of this shit anyways. I'm just like, nah, I tried Tinder once, and it just scared me. I was too fucking nervous. Same with like all these like dating shows. Those things also terrify the fuck out of me. But I was just like, nah, I don't want to interact with any of that shit. That makes me way too fucking nervous. I want nothing to do with any of that. But yeah, like COVID hit, made everything fucked. Like I got more fucked than I already was. And then obviously I was stuck in my parents' house. I'm obviously not going to try to find someone then. And then I moved out of my parents' house. I'm just like, okay, I have a job. I'm out of my parents' house. Maybe I can actually try to do something. But I'm not even paying my own mortgage and everything. And then I lost my job. And I'm just like, well, still fucked. I can't do anything. So yeah, like I'm just like completely fucking boned. There's like literally nothing I can fucking do about this. Unironically, my mom has also said that like it's like, oh, my naturopath person, like some fucking doctor she goes to, whatever, has said like, oh, there's like someone who's exactly like you, and I could like arrange to try to have you two like meet together on like a date or whatever, and because she's very similar to you, and the thing that instantaneously turned me off of that when she was suggesting that, I was just like, okay, maybe, whatever, was when she mentioned that she currently works for her dad's construction company and she's very rich. I'm just like, that to me was an instant fucking turn off. I'm like, no, you're just saying that because you want to get the fucking money. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no, get, dude. Like, fucking stupid. Yeah, after COVID, now with this brain rotting clown fascist, it's just stupid. It's stupid. Well, it's not that the girl herself is like a massive red flag. I never met the girl. I have no idea who the fucking girl is. It's just my mom mentioning it that way and framing it in that sense just made it a complete turnoff in my mind. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Fuck that shit, dude. And it's like, I also, in the back of my mind, it has to be like a very, I don't know if she's a fucking conservative support. That doesn't matter, okay? Who I don't know what her fucking politics is. I never met the girl. Again, I don't know who the fuck this person is. In the back of my mind, I also have to make sure that it's like a perfectly conventionally attractive woman as well, and not Indian, because they're gonna meet my mom eventually. She has a way of just nosing her way into all this fucking bullshit. So I'm just like, okay, she's racist. She only came around on saying like, okay, if you want to date an Asian girl, I'm not really gonna give a shit about that. It's like, well, at least she came around there. But Indians, she's like, no, absolutely not. And even if they were like perfectly conventionally fucking attractive, probably not. That would be a hard sell. I'd be like, I don't want to. I don't want to fucking put her through that, because it's gonna be a huge pain in the ass for me, because she's gonna be fucking annoying about it, and it's gonna be a huge pain in the ass for the girl. I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna bother. I don't fucking give a shit about this. Like, fuck off. I don't want to think about this. Like, it's not about her. It's my mom is a pain in the ass, and I don't want to fucking deal with it. It's gonna be fucking annoying. I don't want to think about this. Like, stupid. I'm just gonna like co-sign myself to being like, nah, it's too much of a hassle. I don't want to fucking think about this. Fuck that. Like, and that's like generally the main problems for as to why I guess I'm suffering under the male loneliness epidemic and crisis, because I am being serious. Like, I have never asked a girl out on on a date whatsoever, ever. Like, I have been a volcel for, at this point, about, when I take the fucking play, it was around grade 9, so it would have been about 14. Nah, 2012. No, not 2012. I graduated high school in 2010. Yeah, about 14. Yeah, I've been on this train for about 15 years. It's gonna come up on fucking 30, not 30, 16 relatively fucking soon. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna bother with any of that stuff. Well, see, here's the thing, Alex. I'm an only kid. I'm an only child. So my grandparents, they pester me about it. My mom used to pester me about it, but my dad pesters me about it. He gets fucking annoying about it sometimes. But it's like kind of playful banter. He's not like really annoying about it, but it's not that bad. My mom will sometimes annoy me about it. I'm just like, I don't fucking like. I just let me do my own fucking thing, man. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to think about this quite yet. I'll think about it later when I don't know, get over my own timidness or some shit. Mostly my own fucking timidness. I would say that I'm very, very fucking timid of this shit, because for me, it's a lot of the sort of like fear of the unknown, and especially with the current economic positions that we find ourselves under, and the current social positions that we find ourselves under. I don't want to fucking think about this. Yeah, this is definitely like, that's also another thing, Boy Meets Minnie. I also agree with that. I don't want to fucking, like, I want kids, obviously. I would like to be able to have 2 kids or whatever the fuck. I'm not fucking doing any of that shit. Fuck that. Like, the planet's dying because of global warming. Everything fucking sucks balls in terms of the economy. Like, yeah, sure, childcare I think has significantly, but like a lot of policies were passed under Trudeau for like childcare policy that were good policy in terms of like helping fucking new parents out and shit like that. But dog, I don't want to fucking do this. Like, it's just I just don't think it's justifiable to bring in a fucking kid in this world. It's just abhorrent and fucking terrible. Like, I don't fucking want to do that. Like, I don't want to put the kid through that fucking stress. I'm dealing with that stress right now, and I fucking despise it. It's just like, yeah, fuck that, dude. I don't want to fucking think about this. Anyway, I've gone on a little bit of a bit of a fucking tangent here, sort of like describing my own sort of situation here. But yeah, I would very much so fall under this fucking category. Like, that's what it is. Oh yeah, 1000% there, Alex. It's just, it's fucking rough out there, man.
Where AI is going, I mean, with like agents and chatbots who are sexily clad anime type figures chatting with young men.
Well, it starts.
This is really good. This is the exact same point that I've been bringing up. That fucking Grok Misa Misa fucking LARP shit, those AI companion shits. Like, unironically, there was a 14-year-old who killed himself after doing like RP shit with a fucking AI chatbot. Very, very fucking sad situation. And all these like AI companion fucking companies, that shit should be cracked down on. Fucking exterminatus, destroy the abominable intelligence, destroy it, destroy it, destroy it. Get rid of that shit, annihilate it. And the intention is very, very clear from these people. They want to do everything possible to socialize all fucking social interaction. It is the final frontier for the like corporation and the rich to monetize social interactions, and monetize them in order to make a fucking profit for the express purpose of further isolating and individualizing and balkanizing people under, well, the jackboot of a fucking corporation. Like, that's the whole point of this. If your social bonds are and the ability to socialize is taken away from you, what else can you do? Like, what can you do in order to effectively resist? Like, it's gonna get to the point where you're living in your fucking apartment with all of your fucking goddamn roommates. You're shut into your fucking room, going on to your fucking Grok app or whatever the fuck, and speaking with LARPy Misa Misa, and then you just go to sleep after wallowing away in your own shit for like after work hours when you're supposed to like normally relax and try to socially interact with people. But that's like impossible nowadays because of wages being shit, infrastructure being shit, everything is way too fucking expensive, the economy being fucking shit. How the fuck are you gonna go out on a date and socialize with people? You can't fucking do any of that. It's way too fucking expensive. Like, fuck that. So, doesn't really surprise me whatsoever that it's harder than ever for men to be able to get out there and socialize, considering the current economic and social dynamics we currently have right now. A lot of nightlife and life events have died out too. Yeah, 1000%. You want to know what fucking killed a lot of that shit? COVID. And the really poor responses to COVID. And it's not really recovered to the exact same extent. Again, like, with all the stuff that I've mentioned before, with like further corporate consolidation and everything, like, it's just getting worse and worse, man.
That's pretty innocent. When you use AI, have you noticed the prompts are almost irresistible at the end? Let me put this in a series of tweets. Right. Before you know it, you're 3 hours deep. But effectively, these companies have attached the entire economy and literally trillions of dollars to trying to get people to, or trying to convince young people, specifically young men who are more susceptible, because quite frankly, their prefrontal cortices isn't as developed, to try and convince them they can have a reasonable facsimile of life online. Why go through the hierarchy of trying to make friends? It's not easy, right? Why try to figure out how to navigate a corporate, all this?
Dude, even in like, because it's harder to do that in fucking schools nowadays, right? Because education in the mind of the United States is simply meant to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to create little fucking drones that can operate the machines just enough, but educate you just enough to only operate the machines, and also not question about the current, economic and social dynamics that currently exist within the economy. Educate you just enough to be able to operate the machines and not much else.
Yes, when you can go on Reddit or Discord and find friends, or you can trade crypto or stocks on Robinhood or Coinbase. And why, Anderson, would you go through the rejection, the dressing well, the effort, the expense, the humiliation, developing a kindness practice of trying to establish a romantic partnership when you have...
Oh, this is a really good point. Like, cringe culture is a huge contributor to this because people everyone's got a fucking smartphone and can record anything at any times. Like, to be cringe is to be, like, socially ostracized within the economy. When, guess what? If you go up to a girl, you try to ask them out, or if a girl goes up to you, it's going to be cringe. It's going to be awkward. That's just how it is, man. Like, it's always going to be cringe and awkward. And there's not really much you can do about it besides, I don't know, go through it and hope that it fucking works out. Like, that's all there is to it. And social media with cringe culture and all this fucking shit, how people will inherently know about your inherent fucking cringe, is really, really bad. Yeah, I've said this before. Yeah, like, to be cringe is to be free. Like, you have to sometimes do the fucking cringe in order to be able to, be able to express true, actual fucking freedom, right? Like, you have to make mistakes and do socially awkward things. That's just fucking life. That's how it is.
Literally lifelike synthetic porn. So what are we doing? I think we have our economy is attached to one objective, and that is to evolve a new species of asocial, asexual males. Unintentionally, we have an economic interest, right now I would argue, in planning our own extinction.
So what do you do? I mean, because
I can't really disagree with this argument. Like, I'll be honest. I don't disagree with this. This is just the correct position. And it's like I said before, it's because all these fucking goddamn companies want to monetize every aspect of life.
this juggernaut is not about to slow down anytime soon, the AI juggernaut.
I think there's a variety of things you can do. Starting very young, I think you need to redshirt boys.
You have boys. I have two boys.
You have two boys.
It's terrifying when you look at these stats.
I think a couple things. Education. We need to redshirt young boys. They're just less mature. And you're going to see as you get older, my 15-year-old has a party. The boys are dopes. Some of the 15-year-old girls could be the junior senator from Pennsylvania.
I see that in 4-year-olds.
So redshirt, start kids in kindergarten at 6. Get more men.
This isn't contributing to asexuality. It's more volcelsless incel. I can definitely see that, right? Yeah, some ace phobia here. Yeah. Like I don't think it's like meant to construct like a bunch of fucking asexual men, right? Like I would disagree with that, obviously, but like I don't think it's I don't think it's 100% like volcel/incel fucking culture. I really do think it's the fucking phone, stupid. It's the social media, stupid. It's about companies and corporations monetizing every single fucking aspect of life. That's the fucking main issue here. Like, yeah, creating an army of like asexual fucking young men. Like, yeah, I don't think I really agree with that either. But like, everything else I think is 1000% correct here. Again, it's all about like corporations like trying to monetize every fucking aspect of your life.
Men involved in K through 12, where 70 to 80% are women who are naturally going to champion people who remind them of themselves. Boys need more male role models. Immediately have a social zeitgeist where the moment a boy comes off the tracks, which is typically when he loses a male role model, at that point, he is more likely to be incarcerated than graduate from college. Whereas girls in single-parent homes have the same outcomes. It ends up that boys, while being physically stronger, are emotionally and neurologically much.
Okay, so I don't really agree with like the whole sort of like male fucking role model type shit. I don't think I really care about all that shit. I never had any role models in my life. I still haven't gone to fucking jail. I just had good parents who educated me well. And that's the biggest fucking problem here. A lot of it is because of the current economic paradigm that we find ourselves under has made it such that it is harder for parents to be able to take care of their kids. So guess what? The iPad kid and all of the this shit has been made fucking substitutes in order to parent fucking children. That's the main fucking problem here. Yeah, it's not the fatherless type rhetoric. I disagree with this wholeheartedly. The problem is that it's the economy, stupid. People have to work constantly in order to be able to have multiple jobs just to be able to pay their bills, and are forced to have to use social media and use fucking smart devices in order to be able to parent their fucking kids effectively, because it's just like, I can't afford childcare. I don't have the money for that shit. That's way too fucking expensive. I have to go and work my multiple jobs. I can't fucking teach the kid to be like an upstanding member of fucking society. I can't fucking do any of that shit. I can't go out and fucking socialize. I don't have time for any of that because I don't have any fucking money to be able to do it. Again, it's the economy, stupid.
Weaker.
And yet also, I mean, at age 3 and 4, I see it already, girls have the vocabulary or at least the desire to talk about what they did in school, whereas boys, it's like pulling out teeth.
The reality is our brain doesn't catch up until they're 25. Goes into college. Any school, any college, in my view, that has over $1 billion endowment and isn't growing its freshman class faster than population growth should lose its tax-free status because it's not a public servant, it's a hedge fund with classes. And my industry is so corrupt that we've decided the ultimate way to create artificial scarcity.
Okay, this I don't disagree with. Yeah, I think this is like on the fucking money, 1000%. Like all the fucking subsidies and bullshit like universities get in order to build stock portfolios. That's some fuck shit right there, dude.
And extract more margin from middle class homes is to limit our supply. Dartmouth sits on $8 billion endowment, lets in 1,100.
Although honestly, guess who we can blame for that shit? Ronald fucking Reagan taking away the subsidies for fucking universities. Destruction of fucking education, man. That's like what has led to a lot of these fucking problems and socially stunting of people. No one can fucking afford to do anything. Again, like education being destroyed and not free anymore. Nah, that's what it is. That sounds like he's blaming biology or something. Girls are better socialized. It's not that they are better at being social inherently. Oh, 1000%. Because of the current like patriarchal sort of society that we have, like men are expected to be emotionally unthinking, unfeeling fucking robots, highly stoic and fucking disciplined beings who are not expected to talk about their emotions and are supposed to sit there like fucking robots. Well, that's not the case. That's incredibly fucking damaging. And, well, unfortunately, in the educational systems that we currently have, that is the sort of, not propaganda, but the sort of position that gets enforced specifically. It's, again, it all ultimately boils down to one thing and one thing only. It's education, stupid.
People, which is what a good Starbucks serves in a weekend. There's no reason why they couldn't let in 11,000, quite frankly, more vocational programming, and quite frankly, put more money in their pockets. We've had tax and fiscal policies for the last 40 years that have made my generation, on average, 72% wealthier than we were 40 years ago, and people under the age of 40, 24% less wealthy. So what do you have? 60% of 30-year-olds used to have one child in the house 40 years ago. Now it's 27%. So we have, they're up against technology, trying to separate them from their friends, make them less mammalia. We have fiscal policies, quite frankly, making them less wealthy. And then we have social media reminding them 210 times a day that they're failing. And what do you know? They wake up at 30, they're more obese, anxious, and depressed. And if we don't...
I'm being fucking called out here. What the fuck, dude? I mean, he's correct here. He's just right with this fucking point. Again, a lot of it is the economy stupid. A lot of it is fucking education stupid because of a lot of concentrations of wealth up to the fucking goddamn top that has been done since the fucking 80s. Thanks, Ronald Reagan, you fuck ass. Like, we still have to deal with the consequences of your policies about 50 years later. Thank you, Reagan. Thank you very much for all of this. And, as a result, there's a generation of people who are completely socially and emotionally fucking stunted. Very, very cool.
My generation has a debt. We'd recognize America from 1955 to 2000 garnered a third of the world's growth with 5% of the population. And then within that 5%, 30% of us who were born white heterosexual males got the majority of that prosperity. So there's a natural gap.
Yeah. The immigration doesn't contribute to this problem as much as the far right likes you to believe to that. No, it's not immigration. Again, it's a siphoning of wealth to the fucking goddamn top. Greatest, like Scott Galloway is getting here, and he is correct when he's saying this. The most economically productive time in human history. 5% of the population, 1/3 of the world's fucking wealth, was during the fucking 50s, right after the post-World War II fucking era. And that's just, it's because of good fucking fiscal policy and the Republicans and the Democrats essentially being a uniparty against the corporations and the rich. What was the case during those times? Top marginal tax rate of 90+%. And both Democrats and Republicans were maintaining that. And then, during the 70s, a lot of that got fucking chopped away from. Because the corporations and the rich were consistently working day after 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 day to hack away at the protections and what the New Deal was given. The New Deal is essentially fucking done. There's nothing left there. Social Security still exists, but that's like the last bastion of the fucking New Deal. Everything else has essentially been completely and utterly fucking destroyed within the New Deal. And trust me, they're going to go after Social Security. If they can go after Social Security, the Republicans have been trying to fucking privatize that shit for ages now at this point. So if they can go after it, they will. They fucking will. These stupid corporate elitist scumfucks who basically just want to completely and utterly destroy the fucking goddamn, basis of the nation state. Basis of the fucking world, to be honest. Yes, I am a Canadian. I am an immigrant. Yes, I do be stealing very, very commonly, I steal all the Canadian women. That's very true.
When I start talking and advocating for young men. But the reality is, my advantage, my privilege, they should not have to pay the price for it.
Oh, also, yeah, 1000% here. I agree with what he's saying here. Gen Xers, man. Gen fucking Xers, who you can't fucking hate these motherfuckers enough. This was something said by Sam Cedar, and he talks about acknowledging the fucking failure of Gen Xers to not follow up and not fucking protect a lot of the stuff that was won because of the New Deal. Won by fucking socialists, may I remind you. Because that was the time when it was the collapse of of capitalism in general was during the fucking 1930s because of the Great Depression. Shit was fucking over. FDR made a Faustian bargain to save capitalism with the fucking New Deal. And it saved it. And guess what? We're back in the exact same fucking goddamn times. A new Gilded Age is currently upon us, with the oligarchs being in power right now. So, history oftentimes, it doesn't tend to repeat itself, but it likes to rhyme very, very often. And with all the concentration of corporate wealth and wealth generally speaking into fewer and fewer and fewer hands, it's pretty blatant, obviously clear with Trump's fucking Great Gatsby party, for fuck's sake. We are in a new Gilded Age. People have been saying this, and guess who's going to have to probably suffer? There's not going to be a new deal. That's not going to happen. There's not going to be a new deal. Not fucking happening. Absolutely the fuck not. Considering how corporately captured all of the current institutions and state apparatuses are around the world by capital, by the rich, by the corporate fucking elite. This is if the fucking and I've said this before, if the AI bubble fucking pops, and it's gonna pop, it's gonna make 2008 look like a fucking cakewalk. It's gonna look like a child in comparison. I wouldn't be surprised that if the AI bubble does pop, it causes another Great Depression. We're gonna be in Great Depression 2, electric fucking boogaloo, unironically, given the sheer amount of speculative wealth that has gone into the AI sort of speculation and bubble that currently exists. It's gonna be really bad, dude.
People in my generation have a debt. When we need to get more emotionally involved in their lives, men aren't stepping up. In this city, there are 3 times as many women applying to be big sisters as there are men applying to be big brothers. And then we have figured out, when I say we, my generation, how to vote ourselves more money. And we keep extracting more and more capital from young people to old. The prices of housing have gone absolutely crazy. The price of education has gone crazy because we've realized the way to get our houses more expensive is through a lack of permits, make it more difficult for people to get in college. And what do you know, the child tax credit gets stripped out of the infrastructure bill with the $120 billion cost of living.
Thank you, Kirsten Sinema, for doing that, you stupid fucking bitch. You fucking whore. You little fucking corporate shill. You piece of fucking shit. This is a great fucking goddamn point. The corporate, the child tax credit that was in Build Back Better reduced child poverty by 50%. It was just allowed to automatically fucking sunset because of Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, those 2 corporate stooges, allowing it to basically fucking expire by not allowing it to be renewed. And did Joe Biden try to help renew that shit? No.
Adjustment in Social Security flies right through. So they have less money, less opportunity, and we also have to acknowledge a basic reality. 75% of women say that economic viability is important in a mate. Only 25% of men state that. Beyonce could work at McDonald's and marry Jay-Z. The other way would not happen. So when you have the pool, men mate socioeconomically horizontally and down, women horizontally and up. And when the pool of horizontal and up, in other words, economically and emotionally viable men, keep shrinking, we have less household formation. And just to finish off this word salad, the cartoon of a woman in her 30s who doesn't find romantic love and what a tragedy she's living alone with her cats, that's not the tragedy. She's fine. Men need relationships much more than women. A widow is happier after her husband dies. A widower is less happy. Women in relationships live 2 to 4 years longer. Men in relationships 4 to 7 years longer. The zone of self-harm and suicide for a man is the year after he gets divorced, when he loses his primary relationship. And what is the reason, the biggest cause for divorce amongst young people? It's financial strain. We need to put more money in their pockets. We need an education system that restores sort of a bias or fixes the bias for women. And we basically need to level up all young people, which will...
I can understand why he's saying that there is a bias towards women. You can talk about your affirmative actions and shit like that. No, the problem is that it's a broader sort of I agree with what a lot of what Scott Galloway is saying here, but not 100% with the framing here. I don't think that universities inherently have a female sort of bias. I don't agree with that. A lot of it is because of general sort of anti-empiricism and anti-intellectualism that exists amongst the right. And the right, unlike the fucking Democrats, are actually trying to present some form of a solution for young white men, and that is some return with a V to the 1950s. That's the general sort of proposition here, right? Being heavily anti-empiricist, heavily anti-academic as a result, and That's why a lot of men are not going into education, not going in to get a fucking degree. Keep in mind, I do have a university degree, self-insert analogy, I suppose. Anecdote, not analogy. The problem is again, like Scott Galloway has mentioned, and he is correct when he's saying this. The fundamental problem with the economy is that it simply just exists to do one thing and one thing only: extract wealth to fewer and fewer hands. If that were not the case, then this wouldn't be a fucking problem. This would be done. People would be able to have successful and social fucking lives and be able to have like money to be able to do things, to find partners, to be able to have successful relationships, to have families, to be able to grow wealth and have intergenerational wealth. Standard, not standard fucking bullshit that is expected within white Western fucking society. The promise for what the American dream actually is supposed to be for these first world fucking countries. And it's just like, nah. Mm-mm. That doesn't exist anymore because of a lot of the destruction of the regulations within the fucking economy. And Joe Biden, I think, partially recognized that within his term, and he tried to help with a lot of those problems. The Supreme Court basically destroyed his chance at being able to cut the student loan debt that currently exists within America by about a third, but I digress. He was trying to address some of those issues, but again, capital is still way, 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 way too fucking goddamn powerful. There has to be unironically, a revolutionary sort of movement, political movement within the United States of America that is heavily anti-billionaire, anti-fucking corporation, and is meant to essentially help everybody out of the current hole that is in at the cost of the fucking goddamn billionaires. And there's Zora Mamdani's of the world, your Katie Wilson's of the world, Kat Abugazelas, Omar Fateh's, and Katie Wilson's of the world all understand this. They all understand what the fucking problem is. They know. And that's why a lot of young men are going to start flocking to them. Zora Mamdani, I think, within New York, I think he had 64% of young men voting for him. 64% for the young firebrand populist fucking socialist. Because he had main character energy. He had the vibe. He had the fucking aura. He aura farmed, right? Hardcore aura farmer. And men fucking like that shit. And he's also promising to help with the fucking economic problems within, the city, which has economic problems. And he's just like, yeah, I will help. I will do something. I will do everything I possibly can to make New York City affordable. And that's what young people want. They want to be able to just have a normal life. Something that has been impossible for them ever since 2008. Unironically, I want people to keep this in mind. The failures of Barack Obama to address the Great Recession in 2008 after being given 2 off-ramps to do as such, taking neither of them because he was captured by the corporations, is, it's coming up on its 20-year fucking anniversary, man. And we're seeing the effects of it. A lot of the current economic malaise that we find ourselves under is a byproduct of 2008, byproduct of revocation of Glass-Steagall, the byproduct of, Reagan's fucking goddamn policies. And that's a 40-year culmination of this current neoliberal paradigm that we currently find ourselves in, which is now collapsing in on itself. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. Yeah, voting for Zoran is going to make young men attractive to women again. That's actually true, though. Unironically. We'll get to the next video about this. But, yeah, it is really the economy, stupid.
Disproportionately help young men.
Do you see anyone in the political sphere? I mean, we had Wes Moron, governor of Maryland. He has talked about this publicly. He just tried to focus on young men, but you don't hear this conversation very often.
I'll tell you, Anderson, the conversation has become so much more productive. 5 years ago when I started advocating for men, the immediate gag reflex, and I understand it, was, you're Andrew Tate with an MBA, and you got shamed. And when I went to the Democratic National Convention, they talked about every special interest group on the planet except for the one that had fallen furthest fastest, young men. And the people who are leading this fight and made the conversation much more productive, very simple, mothers who see what's going on. And the dialogue goes something like this. I got 3 kids, 2 daughters, 1 son, 1 daughter at Penn, 1 daughter in PR, and my son is in the basement playing video games and vaping. Mothers see this. Governor Moore, Governor Newsom, a lot of senators are basically talking about, for the first time, they are coming out and saying there is a problem with our young men. Governor Moore has said he's going to devote the next year to the struggles facing young men and to boys. This has become a much more...
I'm just very curious. What's the policies, though? That's what I'm curious. Because, again, a lot of this... Because nobody really likes Democrats because people generally see them as, like... people who are not authentic, and they are correct to operate on the assumption of what are they going to do specifically. Because I don't think, like, Gavin Newsom just does fucking power hours with dumbasses like Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk. He's not authentic when he says any of that. A lot of progressive legislation within California gets consistently vetoed by him because he's too afraid of looking way too far left for a presidential run. So he oftentimes, and very often, just outright fucking rejects them. Right? Like, I'm not sure what, like, Governor Westmore is doing either. Like, what's the fucking policies? How are they addressing affordability? How are they actually trying to help improve their fucking lives? That's the ultimate question here.
Productive dialogue.
Yeah. Scott Galloway, thank you. Appreciate it. A lot to learn.
A lot of things to agree with. Some stuff that I inherently disagree with in terms of a lot of the framing. Yeah, I don't think Scott Galloway is Andrew Tate with a fucking MBA. That's just not true. And I mean, you know, we can also talk about the consequences of liberal pop feminism. I don't disagree with that. Like, the Democrats, as a, like, really lazy attempt to not have to actually address economic issues, appealed more to liberal fucking pop feminists and feminism in order to help try to appeal to more of these, like, minority groups to try to build some form of a political fucking coalition, right? Because, again, as Scott Galloway has said before, and the reason why I don't think it's accurate to call him fucking Andrew Tate with an MBA is because he's actually talking about corporate policy, the economy, and problems within education. Motherfuckers like Andrew Tate never do that. Sneeko, never do that. All these, like, right-leaning motherfuckers never fucking do that, which is why I kind of inherently disagree with it. Although I don't 100% agree with, like, a lot of the stuff he's saying with, like, all the ace shit and whatnot. The stuff that he's bringing up with, like, AI definitely is a big problem with this. A lot of more corporate consolidation that's happening more and more and more. That's happening within the economy is also contributing to that. He mentioned that. He's 1,000% correct there. Even, like, calling out universities. I mean, he's a university professor himself. He's saying, like, yeah, the fact that there is basically a, I don't know, hedge fund complex, not a complex, that term gets used way too fucking much, but the fact that basically universities act first and foremost as fucking hedge funds instead of institutions and places of learning and education is a big, big problem. And I 1,000% agree with that. Totally agree. But again, we talked about how a lot of young women do not like Trump supporters because of that. You know, we got into the more, like, I think, meat and fucking potatoes, the actual root cause and the root basis. And obviously a lot of young women who are college educated do not want to fucking date Trump supporters. Fairly obvious why. These people just want to remove their rights. Like, unironically. Like, even a lot of conservative women do not like fucking Trump supporters, do not even like dating other Republicans all that much because they just want to revoke their rights. 1,000%. Like, Lauren Southern, very, very famous instance of this. She literally did the whole alt-right, trad-cath, like, Barbie fucking thing, like, Nazi Barbie thing and everything. And you know what her reaction to that was? She made videos talking about how miserable she fucking felt because she was the one who's more prominent than her fucking husband, made way more money than her fucking goddamn husband, and she was being expected to get rid of all of that, to be barefoot and fucking pregnant in the goddamn house, just cooking all the time, and she's like, fuck that, I don't want any of that, like, screw that. And then she did her, like, stupid centrist pivot, which was a bunch of bullshit, and then, you know, she had sex with Destiny, blah, 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 blah. That's the whole, like, simple synopsis of the Lauren Southern story. But even, like, a lot of these perfect darlings of the alt-right, these perfect darlings of alt-right women, they don't generally like it all that much either. Because, again, like, if you ever interacted with any of these people, they are miserable wretched fucking idiots. Why do you think they want to go after children all that much? Because children are not as well educated and they're easier to manipulate and have under their fucking control consistently. But I found this video and I thought it was really funny. MAGA men get rejected as their vote comes back to bite them. Just like a little fucking example here. Just like a little bit of fun in this like very dense sort of political discussion. Yeah, the Fell For It Again award. Everyone starts spamming your fucking Fell For It Again awards because we're going over a bunch of Fell For It Again awards. Again, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of women don't like Trump supporters because Trump actively campaigns against their fucking civil rights. And just seeing a lot of these out of touch fucking weirdos and idiots just coming to terms with it and just not understanding why that's the case is always going to be fucking hilarious to me.
Can I ask you, who you voted for?
That's a tough question.
Oh.
Instantaneous fucking failure. That guy's an obvious fucking Trump supporter. Like, duh. Of course he... Yeah, like, the cowardice fucking says it all. Yeah, it's weak. Wait, I thought you were supposed to, if you're a Trump supporter, you're supposed to be a big, strong giga chad of a man. Fucking admit who you voted for. Be like, I'm really strong. And you want to like be like, actually, I like that's kind of difficult to answer. I don't really like talking about like who I fucking voted for all that much. I don't really know about that. Nah, fucking get this fucking pussy ass fucking bullshit out of here. Nah, this dude, literally all these dudes care about is they just want to get in the pants of these women and that's about it. Because they know that if they mention that they voted for Trump, yeah, I'm not getting in that girl's pants anymore. Dude, just reframe your fucking mind. Like, reframe your mind. Like, if I was doing any of these dating night podcast type shit, speed dating things, first off, I would be extremely I'd be fucking terrified and way too socially awkward for this shit. Or honestly, I would probably just talk about my autistic fixations like Pokemon or Factorio or Warhammer. Okay, that's all. I would just stim. I'd just be like, yeah. So the Damocles Crusade was between the Raven Guard and the town. It's like really really cool because all of these different battles and events that happened. How the tower. This is the first encounter between the town and the Imperium after the warp storm that happened about 6,000 years ago when the Mechanicus discovered them on their planet and they were like a backwards. Yeah. I would just be like autistically fixating on all that. Or like talking about the war in heaven. I'd be like, oh, the war in heaven. Oh, it's basically a giant fucking war between hyper intelligent god lizard frogs who made multiple races to fight against basically a bunch of super cancer ridden aliens who made a deal with these star gods that they gave hyper intelligence to kind of by accident but kind of on purpose because they wanted immortality from the hyper intelligent frog lizard people, but they said like, no, fuck you, lmao. and you know, I would just be fucking stimming. I would just be talking about all that stuff and just having my autistic fixation because I'm incredibly fucking introverted.
Look at all of these lovely people.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you just instantaneously cowered out from like a really easy question to answer. Like, yeah, these young women don't like Trump for a lot of good reasons. Roe v. Wade was 2022, and he appointed 3 of the conservative Supreme Court justices who helped overturn that shit.
I'm scared.
Is that going to be the out for me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well.
That's going to be it.
All right. And that's all she wrote.
Give it up for Matt, everybody. Thanks for shooting your shot, buddy. Good luck. Great hair. Wow.
This is a theme with Trump voters, case in point.
Final questions, this is your opportunity.
Oh my God, one of those comments is both are libs.
Both are white?
I saw libs.
Oh, liberal? Oh, yeah. Are we going to go in the voting contest?
Why would you say that? I saw a comment saying both are libs. Dude, you just outed yourself right there. What the fuck are you doing, man? Oh man. Oh boy. Because let's be honest here, a lot of the motherfuckers that are going to be in the chats of these are going to be like incel fucking terminally online weirdos who are going to be mostly there to just neg the women. Like 1,000. That's the easiest fucking call of life, dude. Because they're just going to be a bunch of fucking goddamn weirdos. Just be like, look at this fucking like stupid, bitchy fucking woman. Because let's be honest here, like, a lot of these, like, alt-right conservative weirdo, like, Trump-supporting dipshits, like, let's be honest here. They're weird, they stink, they hate people, they hate themselves, they hate you, and they hate everything about fucking life. Like, these are not people who are mentally well. I'll be like, I'm gonna be quite honest. These people are not fucking mentally well, dude. And should we all be really surprised for even 2 seconds that these people are having really, really tough times trying to garner, like, healthy social interactions and relationships with partners that are, again, meant to be built on trust and meant to be built on not social interactions, but not only meant to be built on trust, but also meant to be built on general camaraderie and belief in one another. When these people have belief in fucking no one because of, like, a lot of the stuff that Scott Galloway mentioned before with how the current makeup of the economy has socially stunted literally fucking everybody because no one has any money to be able to go out and have social interactions with one another outside of, like, I don't know, work environments where you're going to be busy most of the time anyways, and in school environments where you're going to be busy most of the time anyways, learning and shit like that. It's creating an environment of socially stunted people. That's the problem, and they all tend to be, like, weirdo fucking goddamn conservatives.
Maybe. Are you liberal?
I don't think we should talk about this. I actually got in the car.
Yeah, send
I
it.
will tell you,
Send it.
I didn't vote for what's going on in our country right now.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay. Well, I like guns, and I hunt,
Hi.
and
I heard you cook your hunted animals for your dog's dinner.
you're going to enjoy that very much. Trust me.
I'm
Yeah.
going to enjoy that.
How about this?
Bossy.
Some of my hunting goes to summer sausage.
That's fucking weird, man. Why are you saying that, bro? Like, man, look at me hunt my food for my dog and cook it. That's a little, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe, like, this dude thinks it's, like, kind of quirky and epic to do that. It's like, okay, bro, like, sure. And, I mean, she's clearly not reciprocating. Like, you should probably, like, divert and talk about literally anything else, bro.
And it makes great cheese boards. So
That's what you're going to do with our last final minute?
maybe, I
Tell
don't
me
know.
about what you're doing with your hunting film?
Okay.
Okay.
That's kind of important. I don't know.
First things first, shout out to Date Night Podcast, great content. Secondly, okay, in case you didn't pick up on it,
Before Eric makes his final selection, he's going to walk us through how he think each date went.
Lisa, you are very powerful. I can feel it. And not in a bad way. I like the confidence. It's good. So everything about that was very attractive.
All right, are you ready? Do you
It's all fucking main characters. Like, she is a main character, right? She's got the vibe, she's got the fucking aura, and that's what a lot of these motherfuckers are gonna be attracted to. But guess what? Most of these women who are very confident in themselves, have the vibe, have the main character syndrome, are not going to be conservatives, and they're going to hate conservatives because conservatives, fundamentally speaking, want to take that confidence away from those women and force them to be subservient, right? It is about an expression of power for these people, fundamentally speaking, because what do they care about? Fundamentally maintaining systems of hierarchy and control. So those who are submissive, those are not going to be interesting to a lot of these men, which is why they're going to keep failing over and over and over again. If they are just being inherently submissive, they're going to see them like, you're like a standard fucking whore who only cares about, like, stealing all of my money or whatever the fuck. Like, you know, insert talking point there. It doesn't really matter. Like, if you don't have the aura, you don't have the confidence, like, you're not fucking sure of yourself, something for these men where they feel like there is something to be conquered, to be taken over. Because like I've said before, for a lot of these guys, it's not about genuine camaraderie and building friendships and something deep and more meaningful as a connection there. It is about subjugation, control, hierarchy for a lot of these people. And that's why they're never going to be successful. Ever.
You think you have a choice?
I think so. I think it's time, right?
Yeah. All right. Can we get a little drum roll, crowd? All right. Who's your decision?
You know, I think we can work through some stuff, but I would love to take Lisa on the second date.
give it up for Kenna. Oh, by the way, our runner-up. Well, first of all, Lisa, do you consent to a second date?
Do I have a last question that I can ask?
Sure.
Okay, plot twist.
Let's go for it.
So,
It's like bonus rounds.
who did you vote for?
Uh-oh. I voted for the Trump candidate. But with
And that's a fucking wrap. It's lost. It's so fucking Jover, dude. Because again, like, for that dude, he is attracted to, I believe her name is Lisa, because she's got the vibe. She's got the main character syndrome. That's what he's attracted to, because he wants to subvert it, break it down, and well, let's be honest here, make her be now. Okay, I'm doing a little bit of a read here, because that's the sort of general sort of way that a lot of these incels operate as well. They want super attractive, supermodel fucking babes who are very confident in themselves and are incredibly, like, I don't know, pious in certain ways, like virgins, blah blah blah, shit like that. But that's not how that fucking works, dude. It's just like, nah. The only reason why they want women like that in particular is because they have main character syndrome. They have a vibe, they have an aura that they want to break down and destroy and conquer for themselves. It's all like weird LARPy cope bullshit like that, because a lot of these people see themselves as crusaders, conquerors, builders of fucking civilization. Now, you may be saying to yourself, Daho, that's like some of the most fucking LARP shit on the fucking planet. It's like, dog, we're talking about incels here. We're talking about Trump supporters. We're talking about conservatives here. They, unironically, a lot of them think like this. Unironically. And that's why they voted for someone like Trump. He's a billionaire playboy who can conquer and just take over and just fuck whoever the fuck he wants. He has tons of money. He can just fucking do whatever. And that's what attracted them to him specifically, because of that main character vibe and aura that he inherently fucking exudes. That's the fucking key right there. And, well, a lot of them are fucking starting to leave him because he's old, he's decrepit, his brain is basically falling out of his ears, and he doesn't have the main character aura anymore. Doesn't have it anymore.
with that comes a lot of things, like a cabinet that has...
That's true. Yeah, so he's like, dude, it's cooked. Like, why are you talking about the fucking cabinet? No one likes his fucking cabinet. Everyone hates his fucking cabinet. Like the fucking cabinet, bro. Like, okay, like, nice fucking meme. Yeah, 1000% there, Boy Meets Me. Yeah, gaming does heavily reinforce like main character syndrome. 1000%. Oh, I also heard a lefty argue conservative men want liberal women because not even conservative men want to be subjected to patriarchal expectations, and that conservative women will definitely hold them to. 1000% there, Alex. 1000%, right? A lot of like conservative women are going to expect their men to be like powerful, dominant over them, while they be like ooh woo fucking submissive little fucking weirdos. And if they are, like, a lot of these people, they're not dominant, they're fucking losers, and they can't maintain that fucking patriarchal fucking standard that is expected of them, because that it's essentially been destroyed and subverted for the express purpose of capital, like to make money off of it. So a lot of men can't maintain that sort of shtick anymore. So it's just like, because you can't have a single breadwinner of the house. That doesn't exist anymore. Both people within the house have to be able to work. And a lot of conservative women are going to be expected to not want to work, to have the man be the only provider for them. And most men nowadays, they're not going to be able to provide that expectation. Not with this economy. It's not how that fuck works. It's over for that kind of economy. Like, it's gone to the extent where I've started to see like videos of like unironic fucking thruples. Like, unironically, like men with like two women constantly living with one another in order to fucking help pay out with rent and shit like that, because the economy has gotten that bad. And that's not a good thing, because that's not a standard that most people are going to be able to ever achieve. Like, that's just not how that works. So it's just like, you know, good for those men for having like two, I don't know, partners or whatever. I mean, this is a bit of a social media phenomenon that I've seen this on. It's not a general fucking case, but this is going to become more and more of the case. Now, you could make the argument that this could loop back around to technically being a good thing, because that's how society used to be when there have been more communal and social bonds with more people. But that's because of like a village environment of like a couple, like of like 50 to 100 people, where everyone was there for the benefit of like the tribe or the village or whatever. That's not the dynamic that's going to happen here in this particular instance, and it's just something that's just not inherently fucking sustainable. It just won't work.
Oh, heart is broken. I enjoy my evening with you, but I have to stick to my morals and my principles. And you all
The crowd has turned into Jerry Springer up in here. This is hilarious.
Fight.
All right. Well, Lisa, thank you so much.
so
Look at- Listen, everyone's got to stick to what they believe in.
Well,
There is so much here from him, Eric, reluctantly saying Trump. And then saying, I voted for Sebastian Gorka and Stephen Miller and Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, you don't want to admit to voting for those guys. Nobody like Sebastian Gorka and that egg-headed fucking loser Stephen Miller, like that little fucking freak who from the onset of seeing a Hispanic said like, I am now a Nazi. So and basically being humiliated for having to move to a slightly poor, like still rich area of Los Angeles, but one with a lot more Hispanic people in it, and him thinking like my family has fallen, I must now become a Nazi and get rid of all these Hispanics. And it's just like, bro, you're a fucking psychopath if that's how you think. Like, genuinely fucking weird.
He really thought he could pull one over with the cabinet line? Foolish. Yeah, I voted for innocent people to go to a foreign gulag to die. Unbelievable. But then him realizing that it's a lost cause, and if you didn't catch it, he actually said, fight. The Trump slogan, after scenes that we saw in Allentown, was it Allentown? I think it was Allentown. Allentown, Pennsylvania, where a part of his ear, something happened to it. So, may I just say, this is the...
Yeah, that was the assassination attempt during Trump. I think he was saying fight to try to, I don't know, like... It was definitely some cope shit. I'm not sure if it was impertinence to that. Maybe. But, I mean, the dude's just attracted to main characters, right? Like, that's what it is. Like, he wanted fucking Aura to break down for himself, but it's not... Doesn't fucking work. Doesn't work like that.
Epitome of present-day MAGA. Then...
Eric, are you surprised with how this went?
not really.
No? Were you expecting something like this?
I kind of seemed like they were all on the other side.
What a despicable comment. Not even for me, because they're all on the other side. Go on Right Side Dating or whatever. Go on there. It's all dudes. But like, go on there, see what you find, you know? Also, understanding why these two did so in the form they did is quite telling. The Daily Beast would report 61% of Americans admit to self-silencing, keeping their true opinions on sensitive topics to themselves, writes Adrian Wenner. Say a percentage of Trump voters are indeed shy, or to use the more Orwellian term, self-silencing. Perhaps they're just lying. Either way, they don't feel comfortable telling another living, breathing human being or internet questionnaire that they support Donald John Trump. Let that...
This was also the case during the first Trump administration, right? This was very, very much so the case, where a lot of people started to instantaneously regret their vote, but they still decided to trip Trump, just like the I've Had It podcast girls have said before. It's just like, no, dude, like, you're just caught up in a fucking cult, and you got caught up in the main character aura and vibe that fucking Trump has, which the Democrats fail to be able to do anything about because, well, let's be honest here, the Democrats fucking suck. They suck. They're so bad. They're not capable of being in this moment because they're just completely cucked to corporations. Like Scott Galloway said earlier, like, again, it's the fucking economy, stupid. You want to actually address these issues. People need to be able to have money in order to be able to go out, given the sort of ridiculously hyper-commodified society that we find ourselves under. That's the main fucking problem, dude.
Sink in. More from Wenner on 3 reasons he believes Trump voters do this. First, they know voting for Donald Trump is a morally reprehensible act and don't want to admit it to strangers. Maybe. His second line, they have a deep belief that such an important choice should be a private matter. I don't buy it. And third, they believe in Trump and don't care who knows it. But they are so...
Genuinely the most cowardly fucking bullshit. Like, dude, just be public with who you fucking voted for. Like, just don't be a bitch about it. It's again the crushing of fucking social dynamics. These are things that you need to be able to talk about, because if you want to build a relationship with a person, you need to be able to talk these things. It's about these things to let people know what you fucking believe in. It's also the exact same thing where there is a general stigmatism for people who talk about their paychecks. I think this is a very, very bad thing, and you have to be incredibly open with your fucking goddamn paycheck. Like, yeah, it should be a fucking private matter. Like 1000 fucking percent. Like, people should not use that to fucking browbeat people. Yeah, exactly, Boy Meets Mini. Like, it's completely nonsensical. Like, they use this to browbeat people who fucking vote for fucking Democrats. Clearly, it's not actually private. Like, literally, the dude just tried to browbeat all those women, saying like, I thought they were fucking liberals to begin with. And it's just like, okay, brother, then you were never fucking interested in, I don't know, having a relationship with any of them, because you're going on a dating show with a bunch of women. The likelihood they're going to be liberal is really fucking goddamn high. Very, very, very fucking high. Hardly any fucking Republican women to go on to any of this stuff. And guess what? If Republican women are on those shows, most of the men don't want them anyways, because they'll just be like, oh, it's too easy, it's whatever, her spirit's like already broken, and they want something, like I said before, to conquer. That is the point. They see it as a war that is meant to be won, that they are the main character, conquering territory, conquering fucking land, when it's just like, that's not how that works, man. It's nonsensical. You're trying to build a relationship with another person, dude. There's no conquering here. Get this like 3 IQ LARP shit out of your fucking head. Like, nobody's gonna like that, and everyone's gonna see this as like an inherent fucking turn off.
So clever. They know if they lie to the polls.
Also, I forgot. The point that I was gonna raise. Same thing with paychecks, right? With people who say, well, I kind of keep my paycheck a private. Why? Why should you keep your paycheck a private matter? That's exactly what a lot of the rich and the corporations, bourgeoisie, that's what they exactly want. They want people to not talk about their fucking paychecks and stuff like that, because again, it makes it easier to maintain that fucking social control. Because if you talk about your fucking paycheck with your fellow coworker, what's going to happen? They're going to start asking some questions, being like, yeah, why the fuck do you get paid more in comparison to me for this exact same kind of work? And it's going to start to make people ask questions, which is exactly what a lot of these people in power do not want.
M's will be lulled into a false sense of, I can't even finish this 4D chess explanation with a straight face. Neither can we. Some closing thoughts, if I may. Because I know there are going to be commenters who say, well, she didn't vote for either side, so blah, blah, blah. Let me be clear about something. And this was lost on the undecided vote, okay? The pressure was put on the Dems because we have seen within the coalition, they can be swayed on certain issues where Republicans are all in on MAGA. They are a lost cause. They wanted a speaker. They wanted a Palestinian speaker at the DNC. The DNC refused to listen to them. They asked for support to halt military aid so that aid cannot go kill kids. They didn't listen. What she is saying when she says, well, I didn't vote for either, is that she is one of those people.
Yeah, she's one of those people who understands the current political paradigm is fucking complete utter dog shit, and neither side is redeemable, and it is all about corporatocracy for these people. I don't know how it is in Eastern Europe, but in India, marriage profiles will list your occupation income. I'm not shitting you. Good. That's a good thing. Like, absolute. That's a good thing. People should have that fucking goddamn information if they want to be able to make like concerted decisions on stuff like finding a fucking lifelong partner, like 1000%. Like, I think that's a good thing. In Eastern Europe, honestly, like, everyone in Eastern Europe is basically desperate to do anything possible to get out of Eastern Europe, and like, that's what it is, because it's just so fucking corrupt and basically completely and utterly fucked. Like, if I were to go to Eastern Europe right now and I had like a job in Canada or whatever, and I went to Eastern Europe, I would be like basically a god, like, unironically, because of just how strong my the Canadian dollar would be in comparison to, well, Romanian fucking money. Although they now use the euro sort of, but it's a little weird there, like how it works. But yeah, I would be, in comparison to a lot of fucking people in like East Europe, it's just, the problem is that it's just so ridiculously fucking corrupt, And those countries are so poor and had so much wealth fucking extracted from them because of so many fucking various reasons. Imperial powers, the Soviet Union, yada yada yada, the multiple wars, shit like that. There's tons of fucking reasons why this is the case. That, like, they're basically, I think, like, permanently fucked unless something drastic fucking changes.
Who does not want to see more kids die. That's what she's saying. So for any people who are like, oh, well, you know, she's part of the problem. No, it's the Dems that court our vote. They are not entitled to our vote. Did I vote for Kamala Harris? Yes. Do I really wish, because I knew how bad Trump was, do I really wish that they would have listened to what honestly looks like a large portion of their constituency? Yeah, because instead of going for the policy positions that Kamala Harris first had, which was Medicare, which was housing, which was having more leftist principles.
That fucking corporate policy where she said she was going to stop corporate price gouging, people really like that. People really like that. But then, unfortunately, Biden fucked her over. The Biden stupid shills and DNC weirdos decided to take over her campaign and ran into the ground. We could relitigate the problems of 2024 for all of eternity, and I have many, many problems with 2024 and for as to why Trump ultimately won in 2024. And it's all because of Joe Biden fucking up really badly.
Principles. He actually moved more to the center right because, according to the reporting, a family member who's an executive at Uber, along with Mark Cuban and others, swayed her that way. Have our billionaires leeching to the political process and corrupting the system once more. However, I will say this. I have never seen a Harris supporter be unwilling to state who they voted for. I've never seen it. What I do see is a lot of Trump people having that feeling. And a lot. These are not too often.
This is the exact same thing that happened during the first half of the first term of the Trump administration. People are not admitting that they voted for Trump because it's just like, yeah, it turns out he was actually kind of bad, and I fell for it. It's unironic fucking fell for it again award shit. Always with these motherfuckers. It's always fell for it again award.
This happens a lot. I remember seeing another video with Eagle Witt, I think his name is. We covered it on this very platform. When he asked, you want to get uncomfortable, crowd? And then who'd you vote for? And I think the dude says, oh, it's a personal question.
Yeah.
We know. We know. No Harris supporter. I'm sorry. There's probably 6 out there who would say that's a personal question. And it's probably because they live in rural America where they don't want to get beaten and dumped in a lake. So no, if you voted for this, own it. Don't wuss out. Tell us you voted for this. Mm-hmm. It would make our lives a lot easier. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now,
yeah, can't really fucking disagree with that. But yeah, guys, if you want to get fucking bitches on your dick, don't be a fucking conservative. Unironically, don't be a fucking conservative because it's not attractive. Nobody likes conservatives. Conservatives are constantly open with wanting to destroy women's rights and all that shit. And we all know why this sort of happened, why this dynamic exists. Because the economy is fucked, and the hyper-commodification of all things are basically making it such that people are not able to live fucking normal lives anymore. And the replacements that the bourgeoisie essentially want to put in, AI fucking companions and all this shit, further monetizing social interactions and the ability for people to be able to socialize with one another, is not going to help the solution. It's going to make everything way worse. So, if you want to not get fucking constantly rejected by all the hot bitches, reject the fucking dichotomy. Do not be a fucking Trump supporter. Reject Trump. Reject what he is offering and learn about the root causes and the root basis for as to why this current fucking paradigm exists at this moment. Like, you're like all the like conservative dipshits will be like, you're just saying that people should just think like you think. It's like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Go to the left, unironically. Like, you want to have success in fucking social interactions nowadays? Don't, like, openly be proud of voting for abhorrence, for terrible things that affect the lives of people just because you felt like you're aura farming now because your main guy is currently in power. Like, spare me it. Like, people like fighters who fight for their fucking interests and actually care for their fucking goddamn interests. That's what it is. And yeah, all this like woman hate and all this fucking bullshit also not really helping you guys all that much. So yeah, I don't think there's really much else to say here besides, buddy, men, you want some fucking goddamn bitches on your dick? reject Trump. Admit that you voted for him, but that you understand that why you were wrong. And don't be like a self-entitled fucking asshole who thinks that women are a thing to conquer. That's the main problem with a lot of these dudes. They think they think women are things to fucking conquer, not fucking people with their own goals, thoughts, beliefs, dreams, and positions that they want to achieve in their fucking lives. And I think that's really, really the main problem here. So yeah, you want to be able to be successful in life, in dating, or whatever. Reject fucking conservatism, like unironically, and I don't know, like get out of the bubble, do some reading, learn some fucking things, and don't be a part of the sort of like isolated bubble with a bunch of miserable fucking losers and weirdos who all just neg each other and continue to spiral more and more into the position of being unfuckable loser fucking goddamn weirdos. It's so bad that even people like Nick Fuentes has recognized that, man, I just want to be a cosmopolitan fucking homosexual. I'm a millionaire and I don't want to do any more of this fucking shit. I just want out and to not interact with any of the weirdos who basically call themselves my fans. Because, again, and I've said this before, even conservatives are miserable fucking weirdos, and none of them are actually big fans of the current ideology and the things that they believe in, even though they pretend not to. It's unironically like the Wojak with the smiling NPC face. Meanwhile, the Wojak is like crying underneath it, saying like, "I actually really like this, and everything that's going on is really good." Like, fell for it again in Ward, and they're just constantly fucking huffing that copium. So yeah, don't think there's really much else to say besides, you want your fucking dating chances to be improved? Don't be a fucking conservative. And the basis of the economy for this situation to actually be resolved is, and for the general male loneliness epidemic that's currently going on, is taxing the corporations and the fucking rich.